Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be looking at how Republicans could get a massive supermajority in the United States Senate. So let's go into this immediately. So first we gotta make sure they lock down all of these safe Republican states. Nebraska special is safe, but the main Nebraska Senate race could sort of be competitive between Fisher and Osborne. Indiana, Mike Braun is retiring. We got to make sure that new guy, he has to safely lock that down, or we are not getting a supermajority. Yeah, like Missouri and Indiana, they got to be safe, as well as Tennessee for a supermajority. So if these three states, they're safe, then we have a better chance of getting a supermajority. West Virginia obviously is flipping. No one besides Manchin, as a Democrat, could win in West Virginia. Mississippi, red. Those are really all the actual safe Republican states, in my opinion, except for Missouri. I have that likely in my actual prediction. Now we can basically just give up on a couple of these states: California, New York, Vermont, Connecticut, Rhode Island, Massachusetts. Maine, Minnesota. Amy Klobuchar, she's a popular incumbent there. New Mexico is kind of competitive in the general election. It used to be actually competitive in the general election. Not anymore. But it's not going to be safe in a Republican Senate landslide. Nor is Washington or New Jersey or Delaware. New Jersey and Delaware are both open seats. So, those are going to be safe in a Republican landslide. If it's not an incumbent, there's no way it's going to be safe in a Republican landslide unless it's like some crazy Democratic state like California. So now let's talk about some more states that Republicans have to safely lock down for a supermajority: Texas, and Nebraska, and Florida. The big three, they have to be safe for them to get like 54 seats. If they're not safe, then it's going to be competitive, and they'll probably still win a majority, but not by much. And like, when you have someone like Lisa Murkowski or Susan Collins, you can't really do much with 51 seats. So, Republicans are already at 50. Now let's see what other states they gotta lock down. Montana. Now, Montana, I'm guessing they basically locked it down by now. The RCP average has sheeted up by 5.8. God, there's no graphs. I just forgot. 538 polls. Okay, so Senate, right? Let's find Montana right here. This is actually interesting. I haven't been on 538 for a bit. Haven't seen this. But the Montana average. Sorry, that is a Michigan. Montana. Republicans up by 4.3. He has actually been expanding his lead. No, not much polls recently from Montana because basically Republicans have already locked it down. Like, literally, Florida is at the same level as Montana right now. Texas, Nebraska, closer than Montana. Actually crazy. Montana would have to be safe here. If Texas, Florida, and Nebraska are safe for a Republican landslide, because those three have to be safe for a landslide, then if those three are safe, Montana is safe as well. Ohio. This one has been competitive. I don't know why this is not working. Okay, Ohio has definitely been closing up. Like a month ago on September, Brown was leading by 5.7. Now he's only leading by 2.8. It's definitely been going down. There have been several polls recently with Marino up Brown. See, 2 polls, not as much, but this is very good news for Marino. I feel like Ohio could go red. I slightly favor it to go red right now. Definitely could change. Let's go to Ohio. In a Republican landslide scenario, Ohio's going to go likely. Actually, I'm going to swing Montana and Texas into likely as well in this scenario. In a Republican landslide scenario. Michigan. I want to talk about this one. Slotkin, pretty bad candidate. Rogers, also kind of a bad candidate. There's been a recent poll from Atlas Intel, which is an A+ poll. Rogers up by 6. This is definitely an outlier. A really accurate New York Times/Gianna. Slotkin up by 4, Slotkin up by 5. Trafalgar, Republican lean pollster, tie. So obviously I do have it going blue in my real prediction. In this Republican landslide scenario, it's going to go lead Republican. So in my opinion, Slotkin is probably the worst of like the Rust Belt and Sun Belt Senate candidates. Worse than Baldwin, worse than Casey, and she's not an incumbent. Baldwin is up by exactly 5 points. Obviously, not the best candidate. I can't. Yeah, I've been on a bunch of polls recently. Yeah, like not a single poll with even a tie, or far from Hovde leading. Sorry. Wisconsin, I'm gonna have to put it in lean in this scenario, just because it's like kind of more right than Michigan on the presidential level. But yeah, this is not good for Hovde. Now let's talk about Pennsylvania. Casey is actually up by 5.2. That has actually kind of came down recently. At the start of September, Casey was up by 6.5. Then it's gone down by 1.2. It's a start. It's a start. But I mean, there's only 1 month left until election day. But McCormick versus Casey, there was a debate. I believe, 1 night ago or 2 nights ago. I think it was 2 nights ago, and it was a very interesting debate. They threw a bunch of personal, emotional attacks at each other. Sorry, not emotional, personal attacks at each other. And obviously Bob Casey is still leading. We don't really have any polls from post debate night. I would love to see some of that. And in the end, I just found a poll. I just searched up a poll on my phone. A bit more than 2/3 of debate watchers believe Dave McCormick won the debate. So this is going to become very interesting. See, look at this. Look at these polls. Casey up by 8. Casey up by 9. And then, just like a week after, Casey up by 2. Casey up by 2. Casey up by 2. Casey up by 3. Casey up by 1. I know Trafalgar Group and Sentinel Action Fund lean red. But what is Emerson College? Kind of good, right? Patriot polling, nah. But with McCormick winning the debate, this could change. I might actually put it into lean blue. Actually, I feel like this could be in the top 3 or 4 most competitive Senate races this year. If my prediction comes true, Pennsylvania lean red for now. Now let's talk about the Sun Belt. I feel like the Sun Belt is kind of a lost cause. God, why is this so weird? This mechanic. Maryland D+7. Yeah, Arizona is on the same level as Maryland. You know that's saying something. Nevada, it is bluer than Maryland. Like I said in a couple videos before, Sam Brown, his appearance definitely does hurt him. At this time, in 2022, Adam Laxalt, the Republican candidate against incumbent Senator Catherine Cortez Masto, was basically leading in every single poll, but still lost by like less than a point. So, Sam Brown, in my actual prediction, he has practically no chance of winning. Nevada, tilt red. Honestly, I wish. Dude, this is so weird. Actually, oh my gosh. Well, I mean, I could just do it here. I forgot about that feature. Wisconsin. Oh, sorry, we already looked at that, but Nevada. Here. See, Brown is down by basically 9 points. And unlike the other races, since September, this has been fairly stable. It's only dipped by like half a point. Yeah, see, it's gone up since May. That's bad. At one point, I saw that Nevada could be one of the closest races in the country. Now that it's not anymore. In the best case scenario, Nevada is tilt red. Arizona. Carrie Lake. Honestly, in my opinion, not the best candidate. I feel like we could have done better with Mark Lamb. Much better with Mark Lamb. Gallego is leading by 7.3 points. It has been stably going up. From September, it has actually gained around a point. Very bad news for Carrie Lake. Just like Wisconsin, can't find a single poll with Lake leading. But I feel like in the best case scenario, it would be able to go lean, especially because Arizona has basically been locked down for Trump on the presidential level, which is very good news. So now let's go to some states I either have likely or safe in my actual prediction. These are New Jersey, Delaware, Maryland, Virginia, New Mexico, Washington. Delaware, I'm only talking about because there is a open seat. In the best case scenario, Delaware will be likely. Actually, I also throw Minnesota and Maine into likely in this scenario. Only because this is like a best case Republican landslide scenario. And these two states are kind of competitive on the presidential level. Delaware likely, Minnesota likely, Maine likely them. New Jersey, Andy Kim. If Bob Menendez was still running as an independent, this would definitely be likely in my actual prediction. And in this landslide scenario, if Menendez was still running, I would have it lean them. But since he's not, I will still keep this as likely Democrat in a Republican landslide scenario. Maryland, Virginia, New Mexico, Washington. We'll go to Washington first. There's a couple polls from here. Like I said, not much. In this Republican lean pollster, Cantwell is up by 8. Yeah, likely Democrat in a Republican dream landslide scenario, whatever you want to call it. Now let's move on to New Mexico. Interesting one. This is an incumbent running. You gotta remember that. It is, Heinrich. He is up by 10.4, which is basically in likely margins. But I'm gonna put it in lean because this is a Republican dream scenario. And now we are left with the last two states, Maryland and Virginia. I'm from Maryland. We'll save that for last. Virginia. There is the Senate debate in Virginia a couple days ago. Tim Kaine versus Huang Cao. They say, I actually did watch it. They say Cao did win the debate. I feel like it might help. Let me check if there have been any post-debate polls from Virginia. Kaine is up by basically as much as Heinrich. Yeah, we haven't had a poll here for a couple weeks. Last one had Kaine up by 10. The one before had Kaine up by 6. Really excited to see a post-debate poll from Virginia. In a best case scenario, Virginia lean Dem. Maryland, my home state. Larry Hogan versus Angela Olsenbrooks. At one point, you gotta remember, Hogan was up by 15 percentage points. That came down immediately after Olsenbrooks was nominated. And she's basically just been on a roll. It's been climbing up. Last poll from a couple weeks ago had Olsenbrooks up by 9. This didn't include an independent candidate. Yeah, most of these polls actually do include this independent candidate. I don't know if this guy takes away from Hogan or Olsenbrooks. I haven't looked into that. All I know is Olsenbrooks is safely ahead, but 3 points down from how much like Heinrich is ahead, or Cantwell is ahead, or Kane is ahead. So technically, in a dream scenario, if New Mexico and Virginia is lean, then Maryland is basically guaranteed red. But I'm going to put that in tilt red. And technically on the polling, Maryland is actually closer than Nevada. So this just kind of makes sense. I do want to point something out. I don't know if this is really a dream scenario anymore because Trump hates Hogan. Hogan would honestly rather be an independent, like, no joke. If he was an independent right now, I bet he would be leading. But this is the end of the video. Republicans' dream Senate scenario. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.